Right, the noise you hear in the background as usual is pouring rain, but it won't affect what I'm going to do because I have my vacuum cleaner here, which is taped to the area that I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to be using my hand router, which gives me a bit more control. I thought that I would be able to use my press, but with the rounded body on the bottom and all that, I didn't have the control. So I'm going to use my hand router very, very carefully, like this, while the vacuum's on. So the rain's not going to annoy you because there's going to be a lot of noise when I switch on the vacuum cleaner, and then I'll zoom in. It's a bit nerve-wracking. You can't quite see, but I've only got about an eighth of an inch to work with, and it has to be very carefully done. So I'm keeping the camera on, but I got a feeling it's going to be quite boring for you because you can't actually see. If you maybe can see in there what I'm going to try. I'm trying to take away this bit to give me more room to the side, and if I can do that by going in like that, then I don't have to cut the whole way down. But when it gets to this one, it'll be more entertaining for you. Now, I have a pot here. Let me just vacuum up a bit. And I have a pot here, which I'm using to test. And that looks grand, except for I need a bit more of that away there, that black thing there. So I'll just do that. You stay there, you've been very good so far. Yeah, I think you're about as far down as I can take you. Now, that looks to be done for that. Yes, that will do for that, right. Now, I'll let you see. If you can see, that's now fitting in there and is parallel and flat, and I can work with that. Maybe just another little fraction off there, and then I'll go to a part that you can see better. More awkward for me, but more nicer for you lot. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do there is now I need, if I take that potentiometer, where have I done with it? Where have I done with that potentiometer? Oh, there you are. If you see what I've got a problem there with over, it doesn't fit that way. And if you look closely, you'll see there's a ledge there, and the potentiometer sits on the ledge rather than into the guitar, so it's sitting on that ledge. So I need to bring that out and bring that down closer to the area where I need to go, and I need to bring that bit away too. So I'll do that so that you can see. Never mind me being blind. This is how spoilt you are. Can you see that with that? Maybe that might help me a bit. If I go too far, then I'm going to go through to the body. Wouldn't be quite the end of the world, you know, because I can patch it. That looks a little bit better. Just needs to come down another little fraction. And can I get away? I didn't quite look. Can I get away without drilling the wall of the guitar? Oh, come on. Oh, I can get away without drilling that way. So I'll just tidy up there. Okay, working pliers. Right, I'm going to have to get down close to this. I can get the potentiometer, which I keep losing. Where did I put it? Can you see it, guys? Oh, there it is over there. So my potentiometer will go in there. That's Why is that sitting a little bit crooked? Let me just have a look and see. I see, right, okay. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but there's a lip from there to there, and that is on a 1/16 of an inch. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. If you're going to do it right. Right, that's about as right as I'm going to do it, because I run into a little bit of an issue there. Whenever you're routing on something that's got a bevel in it like that, you could route too far and come through, and I can't get into that angle, but I got a feeling that's going to be very good. So, oh, somebody's knocking my door. Pause. Sorry guys and gals, to get in there I'm going to have to discombobulate everything, and I think you've seen what I'm doing anyway, and I'm just going to take a little bit of an edge off that, there, and there, and I'm going to take a bit of an edge off that there. So I'll come back to you when I've done it, because I have to take everything apart and turn the guitar around, and the camera won't get at it then, because it'll be over here towards me. Alright, sorry. That's it done now. My back's sore, sorry for the groaning. Those are all flat up. Let me just stick some in and let you see them in position, and they're all flat and sitting nicely, and that means I can wire them up. Yeah, I can just, they're all sitting nicely. I'm not inclined to shield it. Oh, I will. I'm going to shield it again. I will shield it again, I think. Will I? Yes, I can shield it again. I will shield it again. But you can see they're all sitting flat and not particularly pretty. So what I'm going to do now is paint this with some matte paint and let it dry. And that will hide a multitude of sins. If only we could hide those kind of sins in our own life with the black paint. Mind you, I don't have too many sins in my life. I can't think of any actually. But then again, somebody else might say, oh, you did this, that's a sin. But anyway, I'm going to paint that black inside and get it looking. These are all taped up, the wires, because I didn't want to take them out. And I'll come back to you when I've done that, just to let you see what it looks like when it's painted black. I see a red door and I want it painted black. Okay, might as well share this and speed this up. Did you know that the first hit the Rolling Stones had was written by the Beatles? All this talk of controversy and you know, fighting amongst each other for the hits and stuff like that there. The Rolling Stones' first hit was by the Beatles. I think it was called, I forget now, but I think it was called I Wanna Be Your Lover, Baby, I Wanna Be Your Man. I think that's what it was. It was when Mick Jagger was inducting the Beatles. Was it Mick Jagger? No, I think, yeah. Was it Mick Jagger? I forget. I think it was when Mick Jagger was inducting the Beatles into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Although, well, I don't know when that was, because I thought they were inducted millions of years ago. But anyway, he made a speech and told the people that their first hit was a Beatles tune that was written by Paul and George for the Rolling Stones. I do know that the Beatles had a hit with it themselves. I Wanna Be Your Man. I Wanna Be Your Man. Or was it that? Anyway, you can look it up and tell me. I'm just trying to impart some knowledge with you. But then again, I could be stupid and not doing it right and not telling you the right knowledge. So this is matte black. And matte black is the color to use if you want to hide something. because it doesn't reflect the dots and stuff like that there. It doesn't reflect the lumps, and that makes it a very good hider of issues. Okay, now do you want to see that drying? Do you want to watch that drying? Ah, no, come back later. Oh. Well, don't that hide a lot of sins? There's a lot of light on at the moment, makes it look grey, but it's actually black. But that hides a lot of sins, a little bit of that. So I'm going to stick the pots in now. And I think I might just go forward and wire it, because there's no point in you sitting watching that, because that's boring. I might show you another little clip of the pots being in. There you go. It's got its own little Faraday cage to stop any signals getting in or out. And don't forget to do this, because a lot of people tend to forget about this, so that you have a complete cage. And that earth to that to create the head. And also don't forget to leave a little bit of copper at the edges. I'll tell you for why. Because if you're showing anybody your guitar and they say, oh look, there's a little bit of stuff there at the edge, you can then say, I have a Faraday cage inside my guitar. La 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 la. So if you make it really clean, nobody will notice it. So always leave a little bit at the edge for bragging rights. Alright, I'm going to put this wiring together and get this guitar playing. Come back to you when I've done the wiring. Well, that's it wired and all sealed up and closed. Hasn't been cleaned yet. Don't forget to, when you're doing your Faraday cage, to do the back of that. It's nice and quiet. I'm not going to go clickety clickety click and show you. What I'm going to do now is do the neck and then put the strings on, and then you can hear clickety 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 click. So I'm going to put these on the new tuners after I've done the neck. I have a feeling the neck will only be, ooh, don't say this, Austin, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Okay, I'm going to say it. I got a feeling the neck will be okay. Won't be too much to do to it. So let me pick up the neck ruler. Sound like an old crock. Well, I am an old crock, aren't I? Right, there's quite an underbow there. And there's no support for it. So let's do the truss rod. Strange that. But it's been that long working on this, I can't remember why it's got an underbow. Maybe I didn't fix the underbow at the very start. Maybe I just noted it. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I'll look back and see. The truss rod's quite tight. Well, that has helped. I'm going to give it another little tweak just. Right. Can't get into it just as well as I like. I want to get the Allen key right in. That's it. Now, just that bit. Right, that's perfect. And it's got just the right size so the strings won't push it down. It just got the right, tiniest, even a hair. You couldn't even get a slice of tomato in there. So I couldn't call it an underbow. Forgot to press the button. You missed nothing, because all I'm doing is cleaning the neck fretboard with water and soap just to get the dirt off it. And I don't want it to go in below that, because that more than likely will be plastic, won't it? That neck decoration. Because I can't see them spending a fortune on mother of pearl. Got something special coming up in the next video. A guitar that I bought, and I spent money, my money, a lot of money on it because I wanted it. And it's a fairly rare guitar. It's a brand name, and it's from 1960. And it's a very unusual guitar on top of all that. So stick around, buddies, if you want to see this guitar. Probably the most expensive guitar I bought since I bought the Gretsch. And the Gretsch was not cheap either, but it's lovely hanging it on the wall. The Gretsch doesn't get played much, but it's worth every penny just to sit there and look beautiful. I'll put a picture up of it on the screen for you, let you see what it looks like, because it's a beauty. I just don't play it very much, but as a wall hanger, it's beautiful. You'd pay that kind of money for a really nice painting. Once in a very rare blue moon, I will pick it up and play it and tune it and service it. Right, now I think I'm only going to go with I think I'm going to go with lemon oil, because I don't think that it's worth doing the Crimson Guitar oil on it, because this is a nice dark neck already. It's got lovely dark wood in it, and so I'm using the now. Just pay attention now. Make sure the lemon oil you have is 99.9% mineral oil, which is not bad for your hands. You can use it on your hands. People use it for medicine and everything, but do check to make sure that the oil you're using is not full of chemicals and is real, genuine. I love that word, genuine. But I'm going to let that sit now, and then I'm going to polish it off, because it looks lovely and shiny at the moment, but it's not meant to be that shiny. So let it sit for 5 minutes and come back to you. There you go, I lied to you. It's only 4.5 minutes. As you can see, it's not sinking in. That's okay. It's unusual that it's not sinking in. Maybe this neck has been oiled over the years, but I don't mind if it's not sinking in to a great extent. At least something's sinking in, and it'll protect it a bit. So you don't need to polish this off completely, because it's not the Crimson oil. Crimson oil you have to take off almost right down to the bare bone. Not to the bare bone, but take it off until there's nothing showing anymore. That's stayed nice and shiny. I'll just let you see it. As you can see, it's nice and shiny. It's still a bit damp up there, but not a big deal. But I leave it on. Doesn't do any harm to the strings either, but that's a nice looking neck. Okay, next job is to put the tuners on the head. And I'm going to not do that now. I'm going to stop, because I've been working all day. Don't think I explained it very well, but a Gibson truss rod cover usually has 2 screws, but the cheaters and the Chibsons usually have 3 screws, and they have 3 screws because the Gibson Les Paul, I'll show you in a picture, has the truss rod starting about there, and that is wood, so you can actually use a screw to screw it into the wood. But the Chibsons don't have that piece of wood. In this way, in this instance, they've only used 1 screw and put a fake screw in the rest just to sit there. So that would normally be into a piece of wood on a Gibson guitar. So that's how you can tell also a Chibson when they start the truss rod right back at the neck. Okay, now I'm just going to put these on, and I don't think I've got anything exciting to say. I've already cleaned the head up. because I can't and I don't want to do anything more because that's holding it in place. So let me just see if there's something I can do just to stop that wobbling about. Come back to you in a second. Right, so all I've done is I put a little bit of wood, drilled a hole in it, and I'm hoping that it will just keep it in place. It's just bluff. Right, like that there. Right. And then if I screw it a bit more, then it stops that rattling back and forth. See, it's a bit firmer now. Okay, that's just a little bit of a side trip. Okay, so that's that all done. Now, some of you sharp-eyed people will notice that I have a large washer underneath it. That's because the hole isn't quite the right size for the unit. So I had to cover that up, but once I get these strings in the right position, then I'll, because they'll move about, you see, I'm going to just put a little drop of super glue in them just to keep them in one place, just for show. It really is just for show. Mommy. String broken. I was watching the tension on it. Unless I had my finger on the wrong string. Just what I need. Have a listen. No sound, but gets louder. What's happening? You can tell the difference. There's that pickup. I just put it together thinking it was finished. Mommy. I'm away. All I did was take off the back plate so far. Let's go quiet again. something it doesn't like in this wiring. I'm going to have to go through this and check it thoroughly to see what's wrong. Anyway, well, I'm finally able to tell you that this baby is going home. And I must admit, it started off as a cheap Chibson. But there's nothing left of the cheap Chibson except for the body and the neck. We replaced all the pots, replaced the pickups, very good pickups, replaced the bridge, replaced the tailpiece, replaced the switch, replaced all the tuners and replaced the strings. Now, it's looking well. I think it's a nice guitar to play as well. I'll give you a couple of tunes on it, or I'll give you my normal tunes on it, as we'll say. I had to rewire this 3 times. The first time I rewired it, the owner gave me some pots which he thought were very good quality. Turned out they were really poor, so we decided to scrap them. And I found some pots that I had, and we put them in, and I rewired it completely from top to finish. It's completely rewired. And I'll just show you something. This is the wire that I used in them. It's not a bad quality wire, and it does the job well, right? And then whenever I tried to play it, I couldn't get the balance right. And you probably saw, I did think I showed something there about the guitar going. Then once I rewired it with the wire, I tried it and tested it, and I discovered that this pot was faulty after a long. So when I took it out, I rewired it again, and then I couldn't get it to stay steady, because you'd play it and it'd go, and I discovered it was my fault, because you can get these little things where you have a wire you're connecting. I'll show one on the screen. You put a plastic coil around it and you butt the 2 wires together, and then you heat that bit. The solder melts and it acts like shrink wrap as well at the same time. And I used that to reconnect all the wires, thinking I was clever, but I don't have the proper soldering iron. I used that soldering iron, and that caused a problem, which took me another while to have to unwire it again, because what had happened is that the budding plastic thing, the soldering iron wasn't hot enough to melt the solder properly, so I had to rip that all out and rewire it again completely. But now we're at a stage where it's working, and it's actually very nice. If it was my guitar, I would buy the CTS pots. These are not bad pots, they're not awful, and they work very well. But someday down the road I would buy the CTS pots. But that's about all I would do with it, because those pickups you'll find in a second are very good, and this switch is very good. I couldn't, the customer wanted me to see if I could taint that black in some way, but I tried different, like vinegar and stuff like that there, but it wouldn't do it. So it's going to be gold, but it doesn't look bad. I bought a new poker chip to finish it off. The owner said he would be quite happy with it being not there. He was quite happy to have it not there. But I just thought, you know what, I'll just put the poker chip there anyway. So overall, it's a lovely guitar, and as I said before, this is a beautiful player. The action is wonderful. The neck is as straight as a die. It plays well as well, which I'll show you now. I think that's all the moaning I can do about this. But it's no longer a Chibson. It's now a decent guitar. Okay, there she is, ready to go home. And she looks mighty fine, doesn't she, really, for a Chibson. So every time I looked at it though, I really just wanted to grab that Gibson logo and pull it down about 1/4 of an inch to bring it into the right thing. It probably used to my editing on the Photoshop that you can just grab something and move it about however you wanted it. But its action is wonderful. Intonation is spot on. No problem with intonation. It plays well. It does sound very nice. So let's try it up here again. it's all sounding good. But my playing is never up to scratch with what the guitars are. Let's see what my favorite chord sounds like. That's on, oh right. That's on the lower pickup, the bridge pickup. And that's, listen to the depth of that. The depth is, and the sustain is wonderful. That's much more rock and rolly. Put it in the middle one, try my favorite chord. Sharper. I must admit I do like this guitar because it's no longer a Chibson, but it's got to go home to Daddy. Bye bye, 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 bye bye.